Hello everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Your budgie can experience emotional pain, not in a poetic or imaginary sense, but in a real, observable way that affects its behavior, appetite, energy, and even its desire to spend time with you. According to bird behavior experts, many loving owners unknowingly create this emotional stress through everyday habits that seem completely harmless. That's the difficult part to accept. You're not trying to hurt your bird, but your budgie has no way of understanding your intentions. If you continue making these common mistakes, you could slowly weaken the trust and bond you've worked so hard to build without even realizing it. Be sure to watch until the end, because the final mistake is something almost every caring budgie owner does, and it may have a bigger emotional impact than you think. Let's begin. The first mistake is covering the cage while your budgie is still awake and active. Most people cover the cage because it's bedtime. You're exhausted, it's getting late, and you want your bird to settle down for the night. From your point of view, that seems perfectly reasonable. However, from your budgie's perspective, the experience can feel very different. In the wild, budgies live as part of a flock. They naturally become quiet together as evening arrives, and they wake up together with the sunrise. This shared daily rhythm helps them feel secure, connected, and protected. When you cover your budgie while it's still chirping, climbing, or paying attention to its surroundings, you aren't simply signaling bedtime. Instead, you're suddenly removing its connection to the outside world without warning. For a bird whose instincts depend on staying connected with its flock, that unexpected isolation can create stress rather than relaxation. Instead of following a fixed schedule every night, pay attention to your bird's behavior. When the chirping gradually becomes quieter, the feathers fluff up, and your budgie naturally starts preparing for sleep. That's the perfect moment to cover the cage, not before. The second mistake is forcing physical contact before trust has been earned. This often happens without bad intentions. Many owners reach into the cage, gently pick up their budgie, and hold it. Since the bird doesn't struggle much, they assume it feels comfortable. Unfortunately, remaining still doesn't always mean your budgie feels safe. There's an important difference between tolerating something and actually enjoying it. Budgies are prey animals. Their survival instincts are deeply wired into their nervous system. Even a gentle hand approaching from above can trigger the same instinctive response they would have if a predator attacked. Their heart rate increases, their muscles become tense, and although they may appear calm, they're often simply waiting for the experience to end. Studies on bird behavior have shown that birds handled before genuine trust develops continue showing signs of stress, even during gentle interactions. The problem is that this stress isn't always visible. Instead, it slowly builds over time. Rather than learning that your hands are safe, your budgie may begin believing that it has no control over what happens whenever you reach toward it. Take things slowly. Allow your budgie to approach you on its own terms. Encourage curiosity, reward confidence, and let trust develop naturally. The relationship you build this way is far stronger and lasts much longer. The third mistake is reacting loudly or suddenly when your budgie becomes noisy. Sometimes your budgie starts calling loudly, and your first reaction is to clap your hands, raise your voice, or quickly move toward the cage. The bird becomes quiet, so it seems like your response solved the problem. But from your budgie's perspective, your sudden movement and loud reaction don't feel like discipline. They feel like danger. Budgies instinctively associate unexpected motion, loud sounds, and unpredictable behavior with possible threats. Instead of teaching your bird to become quieter, these reactions may teach it that you can suddenly become frightening without warning. Over time, that feeling doesn't disappear once the noise stops. It slowly affects the trust your budgie has in every interaction you share afterward. The fourth mistake is not answering when your budgie talks to you. This is one of the most overlooked habits among bird owners. Whenever your budgie chirps, whistles, or makes sounds while looking toward you, it often isn't making random noise. It's trying to communicate. In a flock, budgies constantly call to one another to maintain contact. In simple terms, your bird is saying, "I'm here. Are you still there?" If you consistently ignore those vocalizations, Your silence isn't interpreted as neutrality. Your budgie may see it as repeated social rejection. Research has shown that budgies whose owners regularly respond to their sounds often develop stronger relationships with them. These birds are more willing to step onto a hand, stay nearby, and display relaxed body language. You don't need to imitate every sound perfectly. Simply whistle back, speak gently, hum while walking through the room, or answer with a cheerful voice. To your budgie, those small responses matter far more than you realize. The fifth mistake is moving too quickly around your bird. Walking into the room, reaching across the cage, or adjusting nearby objects may seem completely ordinary to you. But if those movements happen suddenly, your budgie may interpret them very differently. Budgies possess incredibly sharp eyesight, designed to detect rapid movement from long distances. This ability helps them survive by spotting predators before it's too late. When you're the one moving quickly around their space, their instinctive alarm system activates before they have time to recognize that it's simply you. Whenever possible, slow your movements. Speak softly before approaching the cage and allow your budgie to see you coming. Those extra few seconds create a sense of predictability, helping your bird feel much more secure over time. The sixth mistake is changing your budgie's routine without warning. Budgies pay close attention to daily patterns. They recognize when you usually wake up, when it's feeding time, and when they're normally allowed outside the cage. These routines aren't just habits. They're an important source of emotional security. Knowing what comes next allows your budgie to relax. Unexpected changes, however, can increase stress. Even something as simple as rearranging furniture, changing your schedule, or introducing a new person into the home can temporarily affect your budgie's confidence. This isn't because they're overly sensitive. It's because their sense of safety depends heavily on familiar surroundings and predictable routines. While change is sometimes unavoidable, you can make the transition easier. Keep speaking calmly, maintain familiar routines whenever possible, and provide extra opportunities for your budgie to explore and observe its environment safely. The seventh mistake is leaving your budgie isolated while the family spends time together. This often seems harmless. The family gathers for dinner, watches television, or enjoys conversations together while the budgie remains alone in another room. Your bird hears voices, laughter, and social interaction happening nearby but isn't included. For an animal that naturally lives surrounded by its flock, this separation can feel confusing. Your budgie senses that the group is together, yet it doesn't understand why it has been left out. Fortunately, the solution is simple. Whenever practical, move your budgie's cage into the room where everyone is spending time. Even if nobody is actively interacting with the bird every minute, simply being included helps satisfy its natural need for social connection. Sometimes your presence alone is exactly what your budgie has been hoping for. Never underestimate those quiet moments together. They strengthen your relationship far more than many people realize. If today's video helped you understand your budgie a little better, let me know your bird's name in the comments and tell me which of these habits you're planning to change first. I enjoy reading every comment you leave. If you haven't subscribed yet, be sure to join the channel because there are many more videos coming soon. Everything we share here has one goal: helping you better understand your budgie so you can build a happier, healthier, and stronger bond together. If you found this video useful, leave a like and share it with another bird owner who might benefit from hearing these tips. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.